year. Now, it happens to be over here on Tet Zayin Shvat, 16th of Shvat, Hilula of a really great Yemenite rabbi. His name was Rabbi Meir Tzubiri Z'tl. He was born in English in 1915 and passed away in the year 1995, 30 years ago from time of recording, naturally on the 16th of Shvat. Let's explore some of the highlights of the great rabbi's life, who very much was a great rabbi in his of itself community, and he would learn under the auspices of Rav Elazar Korach, who was very, very much a great rabbi of his day. So he would learn there when he was younger. And remember, we spoke about Tzana'ah, greatness of that place where there was much, much different Torah going on, especially during the early 1900s. Very Rav Sa'id Al-Azeri, he would also become learning also of very much. I think there was a yeshiva in the Beit Al-Osta in of itself, and over there he would learn with other great rabbis, including Rabbi Yechiyeh al-Shichalevi, Rabbi Yosef Tzubiri, and Rabbi Chaim Chovara, another great. We just spoke about him quite recently in of itself, and there was many great Talmudim come, and I think much of the congregation would seek to go to the land of Israel eventually. I think when he was only 14 years of age, he would be appointed, receive an ordination to become a shochet, a kosher slaughterer, and he would work at Torah, Mezot Tefillin, and he became a, let's just say, a really big expert with regards to various different Torah happenings in of itself, in the various, and was very knowledgeable, let's just say, in leather processing, in ink preparation, and was doing a lot of community work in general, just overall, which was absolutely astounding. But I think he would get married. His wife's name would be Rabbanit Naomi. Very interesting enough. And I think came from very much the family in itself was a very great family. She was the daughter of the chief rabbi of Yemen, Rabbi Yechiyeh Yitzchak Halevi, and the sister of another great rabbi, Rabbi Chaim Yitzchak Halevi. Rabbi Chaim Yitzchak Halevi would later on become the city rabbi of Herzliya at a later stage. And I believe he would become a mohel also, interesting enough. It's reported he would perform circumcision for over 1,000 Jewish children born both in Yemen and land of Israel. And very astounding. And he worked on during a time period where there was very harsh weather conditions, let's just say, in of itself. I think when young, two of his brothers, both Shalom and Ezra, would immigrate to the land of Israel. I think at that point in time, they were still in their teenage years in of itself. And remember, there will be a wave of aliyot coming from Yemen all the way to Israel, especially once Midinat Israel was actually formed. And very interesting. The immigration in of itself was amazing. Rabbi Meir Tzubiri would stay in Cna'ah, however, for many years, and he became the rabbi of the Al-Hajjaji synagogue. It's reported over that. I think the Temani, the Cna'ah community would actually really request him and want him to be there. And under his management, the financial situation improved. There was a surplus created, let's just say. The synagogue entered the process of renovation and expansion, and very much it was very beneficial during his time period. But eventually he would seek out to go to the land of Israel, as will many people come. And I think he would actually come part of the Kamfei Nesharim, let's just say, operation in of itself, where many of the people would actually come from Cna'ah all over Teman to arrive in Israel, and they would, I believe, get in the neighborhood of Mabrut Shvut Am. And upon his arrival in the land of Israel, he was very much put in. They were put in immigration camps initially, and he would really try and inject Torah in of itself, like to try and really help the people in of itself. He showed his outstanding leadership skills, shone through, and many of the people over there in high positions, I believe, would actually see what potential he had. He was asked to prepare, let's say, a children's camp over there for welcoming. For one time, there was a welcoming ceremony reported over for the President Chaim Weizmann at that time, who came to visit camp. So he was very much showing a Kiddush Hashem of how great the Torah is in itself. He would emigrate eventually from this camp to Jerusalem and began studying under the auspices of Rabbi Ben Zion Meir Chai Uziel's Beit Midrash in of itself. He would take a prominent tour over there, over there, different things, and he would tour settlements, let's just say, where new immigrants were coming in. In fact, Rabbi Uziel told Rabbi Tzubiri that Yemenite immigrants, especially in Gdera, had requested to appoint a rabbi from Yemenite status, and they heard about his excellent, outstanding qualities and leadership, so they urged him to put him inside that specific position in of itself. Obviously, his dream was to study Torah in Jerusalem, and it did bear fruition. He would eventually accept the offer of the Rishon LeZion at the time, Rabbi Ben Uziel, to become the rabbi of Gdera over there in of itself, and he began serving as the rabbi of Kfar Uriel, I believe. This was, I think, in June 1951. Also, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's on the town adjacent to Gdera. And then he was approached by another rabbi, Rabbi Katriel Fishel Tkorish, of the, let's just say, the Mizrahi pool of rabbis, who was one of the founders of Rabbinical Association, which was working connected to the Mizrahi organization, and would take on various different positions with different Moshavim, for example, in the Beit Arif, the Nevei Miftach, the Hadid, the Tamei Menashe, Kidron, Miskavdov, Bitsaron, Hatzov, Rechva, very different, let's say, crossings, which were from let's just say, the abandoned Arab village of Mismeya in of itself. Now, in Gdera, he would take on many different important roles within regards to the Torah and Jewish life cycle, including kashrut supervision, educating hundreds of children. He did various different, many hundreds of weddings, I believe, chupot, Chatan and Kala, helping especially the settlements of the local kibbutzim. He would work as a sofer stam. He would become a public emissary. He would work in shchita, bodek, inspecting in of itself, and also for the Chevra Kadisha, I think, of the Mizrahi community in that area. He would build a city Eruv wide. Interesting enough, it was ported over let's just say a mikvah, a purification bath. Injected huge amounts of quality education systems over there. Really did a lot of sermons in schools, various different chagim, and unfortunately had to conduct his funerals in of itself. So very, very much, let's say, he did huge amounts. We said that he established the Chevra Kadisha for the Jewish community in Gdera. The establishment of a religious council and the Yeshiva Or Tzion in Gdera, I think, was organized through his help, very much so. And I think this actually came in the year 1969. He initiated the establishment of the first yeshiva in Israel for retirees, Or Tzion, for the, let's just say, the elderly in of itself, the great people, and received funds also from the government, helping with scholarships, and so on and so forth. So really, you could see that it was just a huge amount he did during his time period, where he would, he was very, very excellent within regards to local authorities over there. And this yeshiva in of itself, the yeshiva b'shem Or Tzion L'Zkenim L'Amlei Torah, which was really, really, let's just say, inject Torah among all the great rabbis over there, or all the great people inside this area, and was seen very much as important. Now, it's actually interesting. We said that his wife's name was Naomi, and I believe she passed away in the year 1967, if I'm not mistaken. I believe they would have 7 children, interesting enough. So I think we related over with regards to some of the great rabbis from his family in of itself. I believe in 1989, the local council in Gdera awarded him with the title of the Ha'ir, very, very honorary title, just showed how great he was. And he would serve the city as a city rabbi. Later on, I think he fell ill, and it made it difficult for him to function as local rabbi towards the end of his life. He asked to appoint a replacement, and I think he was ill for many years, and he would be buried in the cemetery in Gdera. There were many of the Sephardic rabbis of Gdera would actually commemorate especially his work over there, and the council named the street after him in, let's just say, the area where he actually started his work in Gdera in himself, that specific village in of itself. So he was a very, very great rabbi of his time. I would suggest everyone to light candles in the great rabbi's memory. We're a community here. We're learning about the great rabbis of yesteryear from all over the, let's say, the Edut Mizrach, the Oriental countries, and also the countries of surrounding Spain in of itself. Now, he passed away, it was the 16th of Shvat. So we said there was also a booklet written about him, Zichron Olam Lemure Rabbeinu Rabbi Meir Rabbi Tzubiri Z'tl, which I believe was published in 1995. I think there was another book published in 2020, if I'm not mistaken, Raya Mehimna in of itself. The life and work of Meir, the son of Rabbi Meir Tzubiri, the late Rabbi of Gdera. Interesting enough, so he was very, very well liked. He was had a huge amount of brilliance. He was very, 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 very encompassed all around Trna'ah, in the Torah field in himself, and also in the land of Israel in his time. Don't forget to light candles in his memory. Here on the 16th of Shvat, we're a community here. We're trying to learn about the great rabbis of yesteryear. We're exploring the history. Please don't forget to like the videos, share the videos to other people. He was very, very well decorated among the great Rabbanim over there. We talked about how especially his father-in-law, was Rabbi Yitzchak Halevi, who we actually dedicated a video with in regards to not so long ago, who was a rabbi of the Yemenite Jews, I believe, for a staggering 30 years in of itself. So wishing you all well, blessings from Israel, and take care.